Welcome to another episode of Straight Like That, the podcast hosted by me, Camille. Today, we got the man from Jamaica himself, Khori Bennett, man. What's going on, bro? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
But first, let's shout out the sponsors. Tasty Mates, a gourmet gummy suite based in London, England. Organically made gummies that come in a few different flavors. They just recently put out a new passion fruit flavor. So be sure to check them out, link in bio for that. And Club DS. Club DS is a streetwear brand based out of Los Angeles. The word diez means the number 10 in Spanish. And the number 10 in soccer is always the player that brings the most joy, creativity, and takes risks. Inspired by their Mexican roots and the number 10 in the beautiful game, Club DS created the mantra of Siempre con alegría, which translates to always with joy. The message of the brand stems deep in the Los Angeles community, and the aim is to spread this message to other communities around the world. The mission is to remind people that no matter what you're going through, do it with joy. Life is full of ups and downs, but you will always be able to overcome any obstacle. A little bit of positivity, faith, and joy will go a long way. Siempre con alegría. Yes, sir. All right, let's get straight to it, man. Why football? How'd you get into it?
Honestly, I don't know how I got into it. I was like, from I was a kid, like really, really small. I was always an outdoors type of person, like kid. Um, you know, Now a lot of kids are on the iPad. I was
Mm-hmm.
always wanting to go outside and just play with my friends. At the time, it was my cousins. We played together a lot outside. We do different activities, soccer, track and field, whatever it is, basketball. And, you know, eventually, when I started going to, school, like formal school and kindergarten and stuff like that, we tried out different sports. And, I was really good at a lot of sports, you know. Um, and as I got older, I don't know, I just fell in love with football more and more. I began to watch it a lot, began to know the players. And also in my household, my dad watched football religiously. So it was always on the TV. And, as I got older, I just fell in love with the sport more and more.
Yeah.
And as I played and I realized, I could really be good at the sport as well. I guess it was just you know,
Yeah,
divine
yeah.
connection, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So the accent kind of gives it off, but where were you born and where were you raised?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica.
And what was football like over there growing up?
Yeah, everyone in Jamaica is crazy about football, soccer. I know the world knows a lot about Jamaica and track and field, but listen to me, it's football is bigger in Jamaica than track and field.
Okay.
It's
And you
just
did
that
both,
at
you
the
said?
Olympic level, yes, I did both,
Yeah.
but we just have had more international success, at the Olympic level in track and field. So most persons would associate Jamaica maybe with track and field and, you know, sprinting specifically. But
Mhm.
honestly, on a day-to-day, football is, people breathe, live football in Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah. And you were saying your dad was big in football. Did he kind of like push
Yeah.
you that way instead of track?
Honestly, he didn't push me either way. If anything,
Mhm.
he was pushing me in track and field direction
Oh, really?
because at the time it seemed like the most viable profession if you're talking about sports, the most
Hmm.
viable one to make a living. So if anything, he wasn't pushing me in either direction. I'll be fair to him, but if he, I guess at that time, because it was the Bolt era and track and field was getting a lot of publicity and hype,
Hmm.
I think he would more prefer at that time, track and field because there weren't many international opportunities at the time. I felt for Jamaican players, so you know, I guess he would more so choose track and field as a viable option. But his love for football was always, the number one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you said your love for football started early too. What age range was it when you were realizing that you actually enjoy playing and that you're quite good?
Yeah. So I started playing very, very young. So 4 years old. There's a club. literally a 2 minute walk from where I lived, called Santos FC. And the coach would invite me over to train with the U13s. He'd keep me out of some stuff, obviously, to protect me. But
Yeah.
he would just have me around. I'll be around training when they train. Maybe they would be actually training on the field and I'd be on the side juggling, working
Mhm.
on the fundamentals and stuff like that. So I think that's where I started. That was my starting in soccer.
Yeah. So
And
talk to us
obviously
about
playing on the
your,
street. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, no,
No, I
no,
was
go
saying
ahead.
obviously playing on the street, obviously playing on the street and playing with my, friends. That was, obviously a day-to-day thing as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what was it like on a day to day? Is it like you go play for your club or for your school, or is it kind of like just on the street with your friends, kind of like pickup, if you will?
Yes, so when I was young, it would be more in the yard with my friends,
Mm,
playing in the backyard or maybe right on the road in front of the house, something like that. On the weekend, I would go with the U13, so they would train maybe 3 times a week, and I would be there with them.
mm.
And as I got older and it got a little bit more serious, the street side and with my friends and stuff became less, and I started going to, like official training sessions with my club,
Mm.
pretty much every day, 4 or 5 times out of the week.
And that was the club that you started with, Santos.
Yes, Santos,
Okay. So
yes.
what was that like? How, like when it became more serious for you? How was the football there? Was it, as professional as it is when you get older?
No, it wasn't as professional as it is now, but
Hmm.
it was still a setting where you know, there's rules and you have to follow these rules. And there's a head coach and there's an
Hmm.
assistant coach, and play games on the weekends. And we're trying to win. We're trying to also, well, at the time, as a player, just focusing on winning, but obviously the developmental side of it, doing things the right way. So that was what it kind of looked like in the early stages for me.
Yeah. So at what age was it when you realized, okay, I need kind of a like more of a competition when I'm playing because it's getting a little too easy. Did you ever feel that way?
Honestly, I think I moved from Santos. So Santos was the club closest to where I lived, as I said, 2 minutes.
Hmm.
And I went and I moved to one of the biggest U13 teams in the country. They
Hmm.
won the tournament or the competition every single year. The name of the club was Real Mona FC. And the coach came to one of my games, saw me play, and, ended up moving to that club. It was a bigger opportunity for me. And
Yeah.
I moved to that club. So I think that was one stage where I felt like I needed a bit more of a challenge. And that's how I got it, moving to that club, Real Mona. And once I was there, I did so well. I did really well, honestly. I was a leading goal scorer for the U13 teams, U15. So I guess that was that transition where I kind of got a bigger challenge,
Yeah.
so to
And
say. Yeah.
and what is it like at that age? Because you're what, middle school and high school and school. Are you playing like for your school, or are you just doing club only?
So in Jamaica, I don't know how it is here, but you play for your school because honestly, the school tournament is the biggest one.
Okay.
More publicity, more fans because you have the school gathered around, students supporting the team. So it's
Yeah.
always very big. And then you play for your club as well. But the season didn't clash. So you'd play for your school from, let's say, September until December, and then you play for your club, depending on what age group. Sometimes from January to March would be like
Mm.
maybe a U17. Um, and then in the summers, you would always have the U13s and U15 tournaments going.
Yeah.
So it didn't clash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you did both. You
You
played for both school and club.
played for both. Yeah.
Okay. So how did it go from, you're playing school, you're playing club, you're getting better, and you want to play professional, or is it you want to go to college? Like what was the thought process like that?
Yeah. So something that I need to mention is I was still doing track and field. So
Okay.
I was still doing track and field up until I was 15. I was doing track and field and I was pretty good at it. I did hurdles, at the time in my age group, I was the best. I would I would say like based on everything, I was the best, but you know, obviously one of the best. And I had to kind of balance it. As I
Mm-hmm.
said, growing up, there wasn't the path to being a professional wasn't as clear.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I did track and field because it would have been an option or a way out, so to say, in
Yeah.
terms of going to college maybe or getting different opportunities. But since I would say 10 years old, I wanted to be a professional footballer
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, kind of just continue to work hard and kind of move with faith. Because as I said, there wasn't a clear path. It wasn't
Right.
like you do this, 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 and then you be a pro. It was just kind of just working as hard and the opportunities you get, you try to just make the most of it.
Yeah. And for
Yeah.
track, are you doing it for a club?
No, you do it for your school.
Okay, so track is only for school.
Only for school, yeah.
Okay, okay. And you were saying you were quite good. Was there any international talks? Was Jamaica saying come with Hussein Bolt and come train with us?
Honestly, so how it is the schools are connected to the clubs. So the
Mm,
prospects would train a few times this is track and field.
yeah.
The prospects would train a few times with the pros, because for example, my school was connected to the MVP track club,
Mm,
which would have been where I don't know if you know Shelley and Fraser Price and Asafa Powell. Those they train. So my school was connected with them through a coach who coached both.
okay.
So, prospects like myself and obviously there were many others. You'd go train with them a few times, but that's pretty much it. It was separate. It's school. Once you're in high school, you train high
Got it.
school, and then after that, you see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned you made it clear that football was your love early and you wanted to make something out of it. So when you were in high school, how did college and getting recruited work, especially coming from Jamaica?
Mhm. So as I said, like it was in my situation, I was playing up age group, so
Mm,
U19 I started playing U19 when I was like 14. So
wow.
I was obviously like pushing myself in that sense. And I was fortunate to be scouted by a few schools. They were there scouting players ready to go to college immediately. So,
Hmm.
the 17, 18-year olds. And I was fortunate that, had a good game in front of the right person. And I was offered, a couple of full scholarships. And as I continued to play in Jamaica,
At 14 years old?
began to, yeah, in terms of,
Wow.
yeah. That was my first
Hmm.
scholarship offer. And the years go by and I continued to play. I got more and more looks from different colleges,
Hmm.
a lot of Division 1 schools. And so, I started to say, maybe, this is my pathway. And, I ended up going to college after
Yeah.
that.
Did you have anyone in the club that was maybe a few years older that you kind of like wanted to follow or, model the way they did it in terms of going to play college?
Yeah. So I started to notice as I said, when I was younger, I didn't see a clear route. And I
Hmm.
started to notice a route where some of my friends, they're older, obviously, but they'll go to college and then they'll get drafted, you know,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they're pros. So that seemed like the best option for me at the time. And, there's a few of them, most of them are still playing actually. Some are
Hmm.
not, but they kind of opened my eyes to, hey, this might be the best way.
Yeah. And so when you were saying you were playing with the older guys, 17, 18, 19, and while you were 14, was it because you were bigger, like the same size as them, or was it because you were actually better than them?
No, 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 no. I was not bigger. I wasn't bigger. Honestly, my coach, my coach in my high school,
Hmm.
he was the same coach in my club, and he wanted to push me.
Hmm.
In my age group, I would dominate,
Hmm.
and that was the next step to try to see what I can do with the older guys. I won't tell you at 14 I was dominating the U19s, but definitely learned a lot
Hmm.
quickly. Um, and from the physical side of things, I was smaller, but as I got older, it kind of helped that I played with older guys because I had to use my brain more
Hmm.
instead of when I'm with my age group at the time. I was faster than everyone, so I could just rely on that maybe. But when I
Yeah.
was with older guys, I had to think a little bit more and be a little bit more clever in certain things that I do. So my coach is the one who kind of tried to push me because he saw like in my age group I was doing really good in my age group.
Hmm.
He tried to push me to be better and play with the older guys.
Yeah. So with getting recruited and going to college in the US, what was that process like? How was it like talking to different coaches from different colleges? Was there anyone kind of helping you throughout this whole thing, like a friend or your parent or anything?
Um, so it was exciting to be
Hmm.
honest. Coaches came from abroad, like me, wanted to give me a full scholarship,
Hmm.
to further my education and further my football. Because one thing I told all of them is that I want to be a professional, and that kind of weighed in heavily on my choices in schools. And obviously, as I said, I had friends who went the college route, so I was asking them for different advice. Honestly, most of them that went to college, their college came back and recruited me. Funny enough, now that I think about it, so I was just asking them for advice, and you know, it was just really exciting to
Hmm.
have all of these opportunities coming up as I got closer to that age.
Was there ever a moment where you were really close to going to one school that you ended up not going to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy story because I was meant to initially go to University of Central Florida,
Hmm.
and one of my friends went there. He got drafted. A couple of my friends went there and got drafted, and the coach came back and he was like, he's looking for a replacement for that player, and you know, things just changed. Another opportunity came up, and I ended up going to Northeastern. The
Hmm.
coach that was at Northeastern prior to going to Northeastern, he was a part of Philadelphia Union. He was the MLS assistant coach at the time,
Hmm.
and he came to Jamaica, and he came to Jamaica 3 times actually to speak with me and my
Wow.
parents and I really felt that interest because that's a big investment to fly from Boston all the way to Jamaica 3 times to try to get me, and I really felt it. And once I spoke with my parents and obviously sat and thought about things with myself, that's where I kind of leaned to Northeastern because I felt that my interest was you know, at
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you committed there?
So so here, apparently there's verbal commitment. I officially committed when I was 17, but verbally would have been when I was like 16.
Wow. Okay. So you had like what, two
Yeah.
more years in high school, but you already knew where you were going.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had 3 years left in high school because you could play until you're 19.
Wow.
Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I decided to go at 17. Yeah.
Oh, you went to Northeastern at 17.
Yeah.
So how did that work? How did you finish school early?
Yeah. I finished, graduated high school early because I did my schoolwork well, took care of business off the field. My mother wouldn't allow me to play if I wasn't doing that. So I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
So I did that. I took care of business off the field in terms of my academics, so I could
Mhm.
qualify to go to college. And also advice from, I told you, my friends went to college and got drafted. And one thing that he came back and said to me when we were training in his off season was that if he knew, he would have left earlier, you
Mm,
know? And so he was like, if you have the opportunity, go, because he felt like his overall development skyrocketed when he left and went,
I
not
see.
just on the field, but off the field. Like he felt more of
Mm,
a man and prepared for the professional world once he left, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. So
So
you left early
his
and
ad
you moved to a new country. Were you ever like scared or were you like, nervous that this might not work out and people aren't around you?
No, to be honest, I wasn't scared. I was more excited.
Okay.
Honestly, I have a lot of family in New York,
Okay.
so it's not too far from Boston. And growing up, I always traveled to America to visit my family, whether it's in
Mm,
New York or Florida or wherever they are. Because pretty much all of my mom's siblings live in New York. So we always traveled back and forth. So it wouldn't have been my first time
okay.
in the States. So I was kind of familiar with that. But it was also a new environment. I'm going into college, people my age, and it was exciting. I would use the word exciting rather than scary.
Yeah, yeah. So you're
Yeah.
excited, you're there in Boston, you're there early. What was it like that first, couple of months in preseason, training, off the field, getting used to classes and everything?
Yeah, it was one of those moments. It was the first time out of the house with my parents telling me what to do so I could literally do what I feel like
Yeah.
doing. And
That's
I
real
had to,
freedom.
yeah, a lot of freedom. So I had to really, tap in on my discipline.
Yeah.
And, in the first couple of weeks, honestly, I I wouldn't say I was the most disciplined person because everything was just, I could just do this at will right now. So I was
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
everything. And then, kind of found myself and settled in. And luckily I had another Jamaican there with me. And, it kind of helped the transition for both of us, and
Mm,
we're close friends to this day, probably because of some of the moments we enjoyed in those early days together
mm.
and stuff. So yeah,
So what was the football like when you got there? How'd you feel when you were playing with the team?
honestly, at Northeastern, to begin, it was different because college
Mm,
soccer is very, very physical. And I don't think my body was developed yet to handle the rigors of what college soccer is,
yeah.
because I'm not sure how it is now, but where I was, it was a lot in the weight room and stuff like that. And then we'd go out and play. So it was different, and I had to really adjust to that. And during those adjustments, I picked up a bunch of injuries
Mm,
because maybe my body wasn't prepared for that type of load as yet. I'm not
mm.
sure why, but picked up a bunch of injuries. So it wasn't the best start, to be honest. But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for me.
Yeah. So how did you, adjust and overcome from, the injuries and adjusting with the weight room and everything?
Yeah, I had to change up my routine and
Hmm.
really dial in and lock in because, as I said, free will started staying up, not going to my bed as early as I should.
Hmm.
The cafeteria is there with a bunch of junk food, just doing whatever I want. And
Yeah, yeah.
I had to change that. And, eventually I started to see the changes. I started to, you know, my body started to adapt to the workload that was, this new workload that was being put on my body, new stress on
Hmm.
my body. And, eventually I overcame those stuff.
Yeah. So did you find success on the field while you were over there at Northeastern?
Honest, it was tough in that I wouldn't say success to my. There was success. I found success in different areas, but to my idea of success, I would say not really. It was challenging. It was
Hmm.
very challenging. Lots of off the field stuff that didn't help the team.
Hmm.
Not necessarily with me, but just overall.
Yeah.
And I found it really difficult, honestly, initially going into college.
Mm-hmm.
Found it really difficult. Guys, like in college, obviously not everyone wants the same things in terms of being a professional, or
Yeah.
some guys just want to, it's the social part of it. So I felt like in my team, you know, that wasn't really a priority, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on anyone, because college is obviously, that's not, you don't go to college to be a pro. You know,
Right.
it is a route to be it is a route to be a pro, but not everyone goes to college to be a pro. So it's not a knock on anyone, it's just what it is.
Right.
And, but I, on a personal level, always have been doing extras because I knew what I wanted regardless. And,
Mm-hmm.
where I found success, or where I saw my hard work being paid off, was when I was playing in the summers with Reading in the USL 2, they call it now, but it was PDL back then.
Mm-hmm.
I would go in and I would be firing, because at Reading is where a lot of top prospects would go because of their affiliation with Philadelphia Union.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go in there and, I would have to play because I was scoring, I was doing well.
Yeah.
And so that's where most of my hard work that I was doing while in college would have
Paid off.
showed on yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of the guys that you're playing with are all like-minded, right? Like everyone wants to be a pro,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know? Um,
Exactly. That was the type
mhm.
of environment at Reading, because everyone wanted to be a pro. They chose Reading. At Reading, there's a lot of like-minded individuals.
Mhm.
All of the guys that came to Reading came because of their affiliation with Philadelphia Union and wanting the opportunity to be seen by a professional team. So it's a lot of like-minded individuals, and I think that's why I thrived there, because it was obviously a lot of talented players as well, but
Yeah.
just the mindset was professional over there. It wasn't a professional team by any means, but the mindset going into games, the preparation,
Mhm.
and I think that's why I thrived there. And the the extra work that I've been doing while I was in college, even though I didn't find the success that I personally wanted,
Mhm.
it showed whenever I would go to Reading.
Yeah. So how did you get connected with playing at Reading and how like when did you first get there?
So I got connected through the coach that recruited me to Northeastern, because he was the assistant in the first team
Oh
prior
yeah.
to going to Northeastern. So
Mhm.
it was his network basically that got me to Reading.
Mhm.
Um, and that's really how I ended up there, because he knew of my ability and also my hard work and dedication to being a pro.
Mhm.
And he knew Reading could give me a platform
Mhm.
to help me propel myself.
And you went there every summer.
Yeah, I went there every summer. So I gave up
Okay.
my summer holidays to go to Jamaica to be in Reading playing all summer.
Would you ever go back to Jamaica at any point?
Not in the summers. I would go in December. I would
Okay.
sacrifice the summers so I could play and get that opportunity and exposure
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah,
Reading.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you were at Northeastern for how many years in total?
So I went there for 3 years,
3 years.
three
Okay.
and a half, 3.5. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so what happened next after that?
Yeah. So I finished, I transferred to another school. So this coach left. Um, he left after my first year, honestly, but I was there for 2 years. And as I said, I wasn't finding the success that I felt, you know, I wanted. I wasn't seeing the fruits of my labor, hard work, and
Mm-hmm.
I knew I could propel myself in terms of being a top player in college. So I felt like I need that, maybe I change a different environment. So
Mm-hmm.
went to another school, Radford, where one of the coaches that was recruiting me while he was at USF,
Mm-hmm.
prior to me choosing Northeastern, he was there, and we got connected, and he told me to come over, and I felt it was a good step. I also had the opportunity to go to, at the time it was between there or NC State in the ACC,
Mm-hmm.
but I decided to go to Radford, and obviously because of my familiarity with that coach, I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
And how
Yeah,
many seasons did you play at Radford for?
I was there for, honestly, a semester. To be
Just one
honest, I
semester?
played. Yeah, and then just played the season out, and
Yeah.
then from there I was all over seeking
Yeah.
professional opportunities after, yeah.
Yeah. So you graduated from Northeastern
And Radford.
and Radford. So you
In
got two
Radford, yeah.
degrees?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So your mom did teach you something well.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah.
And it was undergrad at Northeastern and then
This is
master's.
some, yeah.
Whoo. Okay.
So from there, had some opportunities to go into a preseason with an MLS team and did that, did well.
Mhm.
Didn't work out for, different reasons.
Mhm.
But there's other opportunities that at that time, honestly, I was just searching for my foot in the door,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And, I just, kept working hard on my own. And eventually Charlotte gave me the opportunity.
Hmm.
And even then, when the opportunity was presented to me, I couldn't fully grab it as yet. So I
Hmm.
had to wait. There's a period of time where I had to wait, part of it being COVID. But also, yeah, there's just a waiting period for me where I had to wait for things to align. And eventually they did. And I
Hmm.
was in the pros finally,
And that's with
eventually.
Charlotte Independence, right?
Independence. Yeah.
Okay. So what was that like? Because I did middle school and high school in Charlotte, so I know what the
Oh
scene
yeah.
is like over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I really love Charlotte as a
Mm.
city.
Mm.
And when I got there, obviously they were in the championship when I got there in the
Yeah.
championship. And then things didn't align at that time in terms of, but they wanted to keep me, so I was always around
Mm.
and eventually signed. But then they decided to go to League One, and I think for me it was such a valuable experience for me playing for Charlotte, playing
Yeah.
in League One, just learning the day to days of what the professional world looks like.
Hmm.
And also, you know, I worked so hard before practice. Like, I don't even want to give away my secrets. I'm not giving
Yeah.
away my
Yeah.
secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really put in a lot of work. I really
Uh,
put in a lot of work. Those who are there with me can attest to it. A lot
yeah.
of extra work, even when it may not have been the smartest thing to do, but I always see myself playing at the highest level. So each
Yeah.
and every day I got up, that drove me, and I just, put in the work in training what the coach needs, and then the extras. I was
Mm.
going crazy with the extras, and obviously the young body wasn't feeling it at all. So I just kept going, and I started reaping the rewards of that hard work. So, you know, I think Charlotte was I would say the perfect step for me, and I'm so grateful to the club. I always say it. I'm so grateful to the club, to Mike,
Yeah.
to Dan, the owner, like for giving me that opportunity. And, it's a place that I could have called home for like 2.5 years. So always grateful for that city and that club.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you didn't really want your time to end in Charlotte, but sometimes it's out of your control. So what was the
Yeah,
next step after that?
yeah. So as I said, what drives me is playing at the highest level,
Yeah.
and it still drives me to this day. So the opportunity came for me to go to Las Vegas,
Hmm.
knowing that Vegas plays in the championship. I knew, it was maybe bigger platform as well as better competition. And this is where I
Yeah.
want to be in terms of going to the highest level that I can. So this was another stepping stone for me that I think was best for me at the time.
Mm.
And, I decided to go to Vegas, which, yeah,
How was that? How
that's
was life out there?
life in Vegas. I was really good, really
Yeah.
good. I think it was, I would say, the perfect storm where we had a first year head coach and a lot of guys maybe in their first seasons as pros or their second season, and maybe some guys coming on loan from MLS teams where they weren't getting any minutes. And
Mm.
it was just the perfect storm. And I think it's one of the better or best, I wouldn't say best, but because I don't want to compare it to any other locker room, but it was a really good and tight knit locker room. Guys really, understood each other, and we clicked on the field and we clicked off the field. So I think it was really good. We had a really
Yeah.
good coach in Dennis. and we had a good run together, and it was not coincidence. All of this stuff off the field helped on the field.
Yeah, yeah. And you were finding success there too.
Yeah, scored a bunch of goals in Vegas, and in the beginning, I had to kind of earn my position.
Mm,
There was another striker who I would assume he came in to be the main striker, and obviously he's a good player as well. And once I got my opportunity closer to the summertime in terms of a lot of playing time,
yeah.
and from then I just took it with both hands. As I said, every opportunity that I got, I always tried to make the most of it and plus more, and that's exactly what I did. Pretty
Yeah.
much was scoring a goal a game,
Yeah.
straight to the Western Conference Finals. So,
True. I
mhm.
mean, from what I've seen, I just did a quick little, summary and like, search of you. You're a bagsman. I mean, it looks like there's G's everywhere, bro.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
That's your
Really take
that's
pride
your
in
your main
scoring
thing,
goals.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really take pride in scoring goals.
All right. So you had a very good season in Vegas. The team had great success in Vegas. So
Yes.
did you want to run it back? Was there a chance that, oh, I could stay in Vegas and let's do it?
Yeah, there was always a chance of me staying. Obviously, I had another year there,
Hmm.
but maybe because of the year we had as a team and me individually having success, a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities started to pop up, and some, it's water under the bridge where maybe the
Hmm.
clubs couldn't come to agreements
Hmm.
or whatever it is, but the Kuwait opportunity came up for me to go to the Middle East, and
I seen that.
yeah, so that came
That's a
up.
big move.
Yeah, that came up like right before I was about to go to preseason, and everything aligned for me to go. So, I decided to be open-minded about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously, we know that that area of the world has been getting a bit more attention now in terms of the Middle East because of
Hmm.
Ronaldo and Benzema and all of
Hmm.
those top
Hmm.
players going into Saudi, and
Yeah.
Kuwait is right beside Saudi Arabia. So, it's in the same market,
Hmm.
so it was something that I had an open mind to, and decided to give it a try.
Yeah, so earlier we were saying, you coming from Jamaica to Boston, but it's not that different because you got family in New York and family in Florida. You've been to the US. You ever been to Kuwait?
No, I know. Yeah, this no, this was the real transition.
Yeah, and that's a
I've
different life over there, man. The Middle East, that's serious.
yeah, totally
Hmm.
different life, different culture. Things that
Hmm.
we think are maybe normal on the western side of the world is not. It's different over there, and
Right,
that's
right.
just their culture and way of doing things. And
Hmm.
when you go there, you have to respect that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and try to adjust. So
Because you a
that
guest in their
was
country.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the real transition for me
Yeah, so what was that
in
like?
terms of
First of all, like the off the pitch stuff, on the pitch stuff, all of it. What was the whole experience like?
yeah, it was the word I always use because I get this question a lot, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The word I use is it was different. It was just different, a different
Mm-hmm.
life. Like off the field in that country, you're not allowed to. An example is, sometime I would be at home in my apartment here or wherever I am, Charlotte, Vegas, in America. I would play some music, and if I'm by myself, not to
Mm-hmm.
disturb my neighbor, but just to vibe sometime.
Yeah.
And but over there, that's kind of it. That not kind of that is illegal to play loud music.
Oh
You know,
wow.
yeah. So things like that, um, and even just preparation for games or practice in the locker room. I go into the locker room in the mornings here. Music is blasting,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
kind
Get
of
the
helps
vibes
me
up.
to vibes up. Yeah, but over
Mm-hmm.
there, it's not allowed, so it's quiet. Like you could hear a needle drop
Oh
going into
wow.
yeah.
Even
So
before a game, the locker room just
even
quiet.
quiet exactly before a game, so it was different. So adjusting to that was for me, as I said, it was just different. The only word I can use it was different because
Yeah, yeah.
I can't say it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
For them. that's their way of doing things, and you
Right.
respect that. But it was just it was what it was what it was, So
Right, right. And how was the actual like competition in Kuwait? What's the league like over there?
I got there mid-season. Very interesting league, to be honest.
Mm,
I think from what I've seen, you have two, three teams who always competing for the title and the championship and going
yeah.
to the AFC, that's the Asian Champions League,
Yeah, yeah.
always competing, and then there's a gap in between them and the rest of the pack,
I
So
yeah.
that is interesting. And in between, like after those three teams, the games can go anyway
Hmm.
between the rest of the teams. I think it's a 12 team league, and you end up facing teams a lot because you
Yeah.
also have cup tournaments, So I think one time we played the same team three times back to back in three different tournaments. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's it was interesting. In terms of level, again, the top three teams, as I said, the top three teams have I would say, good level. Then after that, the level it varies. You
Right,
know,
right,
yeah.
right. Were you finding success on the field too?
Over there, so I went in, as I said, I went in mid-season into a
Mm,
team that was bottom of the table,
mm,
and so we were having a lot of difficulties on the field in terms of just finding some success, finding points. So we
yeah.
were it would depend on the game that we're in, how we would approach it. And for most of the games, we were always on the back foot,
Yeah, yeah.
and that kind of stemmed from how the first part of the season went in terms of not scoring a lot, but also conceding a lot. So it was a lot of focus on not conceding versus, let
Trying
us
to,
not, yeah, the message was
yeah.
just let's not lose this game versus let's
Yeah.
go out there and try to win. So
It's really
it was,
defensive. You can't get opportunities, especially for
yeah,
you, because you
exactly. I
going
feel
forward
like
and everything.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of that, it wasn't the most fun thing to do to be chasing
Hmm.
every game so, but again, all of these opportunities, I think, I've learned from it.
Hmm.
I've learned a lot. And even the way that we'd go about defending, sometimes it was different than what I had learned prior to going over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so a lot of learning lessons. So that's how I describe my time in Kuwait.
And
You
you were
know,
there just for that half season.
yeah, I was there for the half season.
Hmm. And then were you wanting to go back or were you wanting to go maybe somewhere else overseas?
So they wanted me to come back because
Okay.
obviously they saw where we could build for the next year because we ended up escaping relegation.
Hmm.
And a part of it was, foreigners like myself going into the team and helping the team. So there were conversations of me coming back, but I felt that part of it as well was I felt like I don't know if the word is lost, but in terms of national team, I was getting messages like they're not able to track me while I'm there, see my games. It wasn't a lot of visibility. So maybe I needed to go somewhere where they could see me. So
Yeah,
they
you
could
be on the
see me,
radar and have
radar.
access.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly. So that kind of influenced my decision a bit to come back
Hmm.
stateside.
So your goal was to get onto the Jamaican national team.
That's always a goal of mine to be
Always.
in the Jamaica national team. So when
Hmm.
I'm getting messages like this, and obviously on the field, I was like, I wasn't enjoying it as much as I felt I
Hmm.
should. When I weighed all these different, variables and stuff, I think, it was best for me to come stateside.
And that's when you went to Sacramento.
Yes.
Okay.
After, yes, I left
And
and went
that's where
to
I seen
Sacramento.
some success. I seen some goals. You were doing your thing over in Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento. I went in, and always when I go into a team, I want to impact the team in a positive way. I
Yeah.
knew when I just got in, I know they're just above the the playoff line. So I think about sixth, and you know, not saying it's myself, but I noticed an improvement in just how we play, and we started
Mhm.
getting a lot of success on the field, you know, while I was there, and we were consistently in second place for the pretty much the whole time I was there, and we also made it to the USL Cup final as well, you know.
Mhm.
So lots of positives from my time there, and obviously when I was on the field, scored my goals and enjoyed playing in front of a lot of fans as well.
Yeah, yeah. So honestly, there's a little trend going on right now, man, that I'm starting to notice is that any club you're going to, the team is having some serious success. Vegas, Western Conference Finals, Kuwait escaped relegation when they were in it the whole time.
Yeah.
SAC, you having a great time, went to the final. Not, hey, I'm not saying it's all because of you, but hey, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I don't honestly, I don't want to take the credit to say it's all me because
Yeah,
that's just
yeah,
not true. It's a team sport. But
yeah,
as I said, every team that I go to, I try to impact it in a positive way.
yeah.
Obviously, what I do on the field is score goals, but
Hmm.
also off the field in terms of trying to motivate guys, whether directly or indirectly, you
Hmm.
know, whether that's them seeing how I carry myself and how I
Yeah.
go about my business or having one-on-one conversations. I always try to leave a positive impact. And, you know, I take pride in that as well. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that trend that you're noticing, I've noticed it as well. But,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that I look on and take pride in.
Yeah, it's also bigger than just the football. It's obviously the human aspect of it all too, building the relationships
Yeah,
and having the chemistry and everything.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So you were in SAC for how long in total?
So just the second half of the
Just that
the
one?
20, yeah,
Wow. And then is that also when Jamaica called?
yeah. So at the end of the season, I got called up to the national team
Hmm.
for a game in Grenada
Hmm.
in January. So we had an off season. Obviously, the USL season is finished
Yeah.
in the end of November thereabout, and then national team is in January. So in the off season, I was in Jamaica with family.
Hmm.
In my off season, just relaxing and preparing for whatever was to come next. And then I got the call up.
So you were in Jamaica when you got the call.
Yeah, I was in
That's
Jamaica.
perfect. That's perfect timing. That's
Perfect. I was
perfect
at home
timing.
on my couch.
Was that the first time?
No, I got called up for the USA game in the Nations League semifinals in 2024 while at Vegas.
Oh, you were on that team?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was that the game that like Jamaica was winning like 1-0 the whole time and then or was
No.
that when Jamaica remind
We
me of that
we, we
game?
so we in I think in Jamaica we lost 1-0, and then we played in St. Louis and we lost 4-2 to
Oh,
US.
I'm thinking of the Gold Cup.
Oh no. It wasn't
Okay,
the
okay,
Gold
okay.
Cup. Yeah. It was the
Okay.
Nations League. Yeah.
So that was the first time.
That was the first time, yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about the international experience, man. How was that? What was that like?
Yeah. International playing for my country or being called up for my country because I haven't had my first cap as yet. It
Hmm.
will come soon.
Hmm.
But being called up, just being called up, is something that I dreamed about when I was a kid. When I decided I wanted to be a professional footballer,
Hmm.
that was one of my dreams. And I looked up to a lot of the guys who played in the national team at that time while I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so whenever I get called up, I'm always so happy. And I could see it in the eyes of my parents, my friends, my loved ones. Everyone's so happy about it because they know how much it means to me.
Hmm.
So definitely it's always a pleasure. It's
That
always a pleasure.
and you're being called into some good Jamaican teams. Is this with like Bailey there
Yeah.
and what's the West Ham guy?
Mikel Antonio.
Mikel Antonio.
Yeah. All these guys
That's some
were
serious
yeah.
names, bro.
It's always,
Man.
yeah,
So
good
what's it like
to
there, like training with guys like that?
yeah. So honestly, for the US game, you can see why these guys play at the level that they play at.
Mm-hmm.
It's quality on and off the ball, and again, you can just see why they play at that level.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's something to aspire to. And it's always good to see it with your eyes and be there playing so you can really,
yeah.
I'm someone who I can learn from looking at, just watching a player, learn
Mm-hmm.
something new and I try to add it to my game. So
Yeah.
playing these guys and, off the field, they're great human beings as well.
Mm-hmm.
I played against Bailey when we were kids. So obviously when I was in the camp, we spoke a little bit about back then and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good. It's always good to especially for him seeing his journey and it's very
Yeah.
inspiring for every Jamaican footballer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've been invited to two camps. So the cap is coming. The next camp, that cap is coming.
Yeah, it's actually three, but the
Oh,
second one I
three.
couldn't make it. Yeah, I got called up for in at the beginning of 2025, but I couldn't make it because I was in the process of it was a friendly game. I was
Mm-hmm.
in the process of getting the deal done to go to Kuwait, so I couldn't make the camp because it was in Jamaica and I had to be
In Kuwait.
all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. And then recently you signed a new deal. Where are you at right now?
so I'm in Colorado,
Yeah, that's the new.
Colorado switchbacks. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where I am right now.
Yeah, yeah. So you excited about this? The season hasn't started yet, right?
Yeah, the season begins in March,
Mm-hmm.
and the 7th is our first game. I'm really excited. I love what I'm seeing both on and off the field from the group,
Mm-hmm.
and I love how I'm personally feeling.
Mm-hmm.
From a physical, from a mental, from a spiritual perspective. I feel that I'm in a really good place, and I'm just excited for what's to come.
Oh
This
yeah,
year.
you're gonna touch down and you're gonna fly, bro. You're gonna fly. I swear, the G's I was seeing
God's
in
willing.
SAC, I was like, ooh, yeah, okay.
God's
Colorado's
willing.
next for
God's willing.
sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, any future aspirations for you in this game
Yeah.
all
So
the way
we
through?
just we just spoke about it,
Mm-hmm.
getting my caps with the national team, and I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
right there. Honestly, I think I'm right there, but I just have to keep working and, hopefully things align and I'm able to not just get one cap, but be someone who has, quite a few caps.
Yeah,
I want to play at the highest level. Honestly, I don't know what that looks like, but for now, I'm here at Colorado and I just want to have a lot of success with the team. That's my main goal right
mm-hmm.
now. A lot of success with the team, win the championship. They won it 2024 and, it would be awesome for us to win it again. I've
Yeah.
been told a bunch of stories here because while I was in Vegas, they beat us in the Western Conference final.
Okay.
So a lot of the guys on that team were there and we have a lot of back and forth about the game,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So I would love to be here and win it because they tell me about all the stories, about winning the championship. So that's definitely, I would say, a short-term goal here, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
score a bunch of goals,
Mm-hmm.
um, which, confident I will do.
Mm-hmm.
And, the goal is always to play at the highest level for me. And whatever that looks like, whatever God has in store for me, um, I'm just preparing myself for it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so in terms of goals, those three are what is at the top of my mind right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into some of these Instagram questions. Um,
Right.
couple of people have asked some questions. They want to know certain things about you. So, first one, do you have any crazy transfer related story? And I'm assuming like was there almost a move that didn't happen? Was there something like that?
Yeah, but I don't wanna say too much right now,
Okay, okay. That's
honestly,
fine.
but I could just give a hint. Like there was an MLS move on the card that fell through
After SAC?
after Vegas.
After Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
And we can leave it like that. We can leave it like
Yeah, we
that.
have to leave it like that. We have to leave it like that. Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite Jamaican food?
Favorite Jamaican food? Ooh, Honestly, honestly, it changes. I don't know. Sometimes it changes. Like that's a hard question.
Like right
I
now,
would
how about
say,
right now? If you're hungry, it's dinner time in Colorado. What do you have in Jamaican?
okay, I'll go for curry goat,
Okay,
Jamaican curry goat. Yeah, right
okay.
now.
And what's
But
go ahead, go ahead.
I'm saying at times it can be oxtail, like I'm just in that
Oxtail,
mood, and
serious.
then sometimes it can be jerk chicken. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Y'all got
and
food, man.
exactly.
Y'all
And
got
I
good
could go
food.
down the line. Yeah, it's so much.
Damn, that yeah. I lost the question. Oh, okay. Can you cook?
Yes, I can cook.
Can you cook Jamaican food?
Yes, I can cook Jamaican
What's the
food.
best Jamaican dish you can make?
Probably it would be, I would say jerk chicken,
Jerk
just
chicken.
because it's the easiest.
Okay.
I would personally say, yeah.
Okay. All right. This question is kind of crazy. I don't, in 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 your prime, let's say your prime is right now, right?
Uh-huh.
But in track, not football,
Uh-huh.
could you beat Usain Bolt right now? Not Usain Bolt prime, right now.
If I was to race Bolt right now
Right now.
in a race
Yeah.
in the state that Bolt is in right now
In the
at
state that
his
he's in.
age,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Woo!
Yes. I don't think Bolt is beating me right now. Bolt right now
Oh,
is retired, and I think he's just not interested in running right now.
you think right
I,
now on a how about just a dead sprint 100 meter?
yeah, I think I got him right now. I think I got him.
Oh man, that yeah, I like that. We're going to clip that one. I like that. All right, couple of get to know you questions now, right?
Yeah.
Listening, or sorry, going into a big game. What are you listening to? A matter of
Um,
fact, who are you listening to? Give us some artists that you
who?
listen to.
Okay. I would go for there's an artist called Masika. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, 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 I got you.
Yeah, he's pretty big in Jamaica. Young
Hmm.
artist, upcoming. Um, and then I have let me go on my
Yeah.
Apple Music real quick so I don't miss anyone.
Is it mainly
Because
Jamaican
it,
guys?
it depends because it depends on my mood. Because you have
Mm-hmm.
an Afrobeat artist called Ruger. You know Ruger?
Mm-mm. You got to
Yeah,
put me
so
on game, bro. You got to put me on
yeah,
game.
he's top. He's really good. And then I listen to there's a lot of songs from him that I listen to. I listen to a lot of Gunna.
Okay, okay, good one.
Yeah. Yeah. And Masika, Gunna. I would say those are the main three. And then from there, it just goes from song to song. But
Anywhere. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but I would
Okay,
say Masika, Gunna, and Ruger, the Afrobeat artist.
okay.
Yeah.
Going into that same game, big game. What are you wearing going into the stadium?
Okay. So this is a
Big game.
big, big game.
Let's say Western Conference Finals.
Okay. So some teams only allow you to wear your polo for the
Oh yeah,
team,
yeah.
no,
No, we're
but
dis we're disregarding that.
this is good enough. Okay,
Disregard
so
that.
I'm wearing honestly for big games, I have to wear all black.
All
Like
black.
I have to be in all black. Like
Okay.
and to name brands like for me, I don't know, but maybe black Louis Vuitton shoes, nice black jeans,
Ooh.
and the top. I'm not I would say like a matchy guy. Like I have to wear a Louis Vuitton shoes with a Louis Vuitton top. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it would
yeah.
be depending on the weather as well.
Yeah, okay.
It could be a long sleeve. It could be a hoodie. It could be a normal. For t-shirts, I prefer to wear like oversized t-shirts that kind of fit me that kind of way.
Hmm.
Um, so It really depends. There's a lot of factors, but I just know like
Okay.
black. I have to have my jewelry on, my
Okay.
chain. I
Okay.
have to have on my wrist. What do you call it again? Is
Bracelet.
it bracelet? Yeah, my mom got me one for my birthday, so I always
Uh-huh.
wear that. And then my, gold chain, and that's how I'm pulling up.
But it's got to be
Yeah,
all
if
black
it's
though, always.
yeah for big games, it has to be black. Yeah,
Okay. So far, where
this
has been your favorite city that you've lived in?
oh,
Off
that's
the
a tough
pitch.
one.
Off the pitch.
Off the pitch,
Hmm.
honestly, Charlotte,
Really?
yeah, because I don't know what it is about Charlotte, but I just connected with that place.
That's
I
so
felt like
crazy.
there's a why you don't like Charlotte or what?
No. It's not like I don't, it's not that I don't like Charlotte, but I've been there. I was there from sixth grade to 12th grade. My parents still
Mhm.
live over there. So I go there maybe like two times a year, three times a year. My brother goes to UNC. I'm just
Ah,
tired of that place,
oh, you
bro.
yeah,
I'm
okay, I
tired.
understand. Yeah,
It's
understand.
growing though. It's getting
Yeah,
huge now.
that was the part that I really liked about there because when I got there, it was like this place is gonna be really there.
Hmm.
You could see the work being done in the city,
Yeah.
and I felt like for me, I'm the type of person that I like to stay in and chill, but I also
Yeah.
like to know that when I go outside, there's a nice food place I can go. There's a
Hmm.
downtown that I can go,
Hmm.
hang out and chill. So I think Charlotte gives me that. And I
Yeah.
think there's also an aspect of Charlotte where there's parts where it's green, a lot of
Yeah.
trees, a lot of
Yeah.
outside nature and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So I think it has a good balance of both. And in terms of the weather as well, I think it doesn't get too cold. I saw the other day that it was snowing there, which was
Yeah, it was.
crazy because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
never snowed when I was there. But outside of that, the weather is never too hot, never too cold. It's just,
Yeah.
that right balance. So I think of all the cities I've lived in, I would say Charlotte would be, you know,
That's the one.
number one so far.
Were
Yeah.
you staying in Charlotte or were y'all like in Matthews and Pineville?
In in Matthews,
Matthews, okay.
but in the first year, I just said Charlotte.
Okay.
Like it would be Charlotte, whatever zip code. In my
Yeah.
second year, it was Matthews, but it was like literally 2 minutes apart.
Yeah.
You know
It's
how
just
it
right
is over
outside.
there.
You could just drive in.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
All
So
right.
I
Last
would
two
say
questions
Charlotte.
here. Last two questions
Okay.
for you. Favorite vacation spot? When it's holiday season's over, where would you want to go to?
Okay. So that I've been to or I want to go to?
Both. Let's do that both.
Both. Okay. So the favorite vacation spot that I've been to was, you know, Cancun.
Okay.
Went to Mexico. Was really fun. Um, but also Jamaica is home, but for me in the off season, there's no place like, you know, going to Jamaica because I could be home and then I can just go to the beach. I can
Yeah.
do whatever, and there's a lot of activities to do. Somewhere I want to go for vacation, Switzerland, because it's so
Oh,
beautiful.
I
I
was
see
just
so
there a
many.
year ago.
Really? How
Just
was it?
there. Oh, bro, like a movie, like a movie.
Exactly.
It was
Every time
blue
I
skies and then just the mountains on behind of everywhere with the white oh, clean.
beautiful.
Oof.
I'm telling you, like I see so many like videos whenever I open up social media and I see videos of
Yeah.
Switzerland, I'm like, I have to go and visit Switzerland.
If you ever
I
do
have to.
go, take a
Yeah.
train and go to Innsbruck, Austria.
Okay.
It's like three, if you go to Zurich, it's about 3 hour train to Innsbruck, Austria.
Mhm.
That might be even better. Might
Honestly,
be.
I went to Zurich before, but it was
Uh-huh.
I didn't do much because it was a layover and my flight was delayed. So they had
Oh,
us
okay.
in a hotel for pretty much half a day, just
Hmm.
overnight, and then left. And but yeah, you say
Serious
go
place,
to
bro.
Austria. Yeah,
Serious place. You
beautiful.
let me know when
Yeah,
you go. I'll text you some spots where you gotta go to, bro.
definitely. I'm gonna hit you up when I go.
Got you. All
Yeah.
right, lastly, how do you want to be remembered by?
How do I want to be remembered? Personally, I want to be remembered firstly. as a good person, as a good person. Um, want those around me to feel feel the love, you know,
Mm-hmm.
inside me coming out, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Good
Just whenever
vibes.
they're around me, they feel comfortable around me.
Yeah.
Um, want to be remembered for, my hard work, you know, discipline, dedication, because to get where I'm at, like I haven't, and probably not for now, but I haven't really sat and thought about my journey.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of obstacles that I had to overcome, and you know, some I've spoken about, some I've not. And, to be where I am right now, and I know I'm going to go even further and have more success, both on and off the field. I just want to be remembered for that discipline, that dedication, and that, you know, resilient spirit that
Mm-hmm.
I had. And just want to be an inspiration, you know, for everyone, but mainly for those around me, if
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, listen, it was great to have you on. Great to listen to your story. We wish you nothing but blessings and health and more success and that cap with Jamaica coming and then a bunch more coming and a couple of G's
Yeah.
with Jamaica, man. Come on,
Sir.
man. Ponder rhythm, man. I'm tapped in, man.
Jeez. Yes, brother. Yes,
Yeah,
brother.
man. But thank
Definitely
you.
appreciate you for having me on. It's really fun. Obviously, we had the hiccups with the Wi
Hey,
with
no
your
problem.
Wi-Fi.
No
Nah,
problem.
play. I'm not gonna put, I'm not gonna put it on you, but it's really fun. Really enjoyed this. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.